Well, so here we are on step, I forgot how many, to do the floor. When I took the rubber mats out, it ended up being way more rust than I had ever dreamed there would be. I tried all the old school methods. I used to build rat rods and whatnot. Sandblasting, it wasn't going to work. It was going to sandblast the whole floor off, basically. And then I was going to have to replace the whole floor. So I ran into a forum for Skoolies, and I found the rust converter. So I prepped it and put it on for 24 hours, and voila, muy bueno. So I just hosed it down, scrubbed it off, leaves a white powdery residue. I see that we've still got a little bit of red showing. I did 2 coats of the rust converter, and before I scrubbed it, when it was completely white. So it says that where it's black, the chemical reaction has taken place. Where you're seeing the red, I'm not sure. I kind of feel like it's mostly in the middle here. And I'm just going to leave it. It's been so many days, weeks, that I've been working on this floor that I thought would just take a few days to do. So I'm exhausted from that and ready to lay a floor. So I'm going to go ahead and lay down a primer. I went to Harbor Freight, which I love Harbor Freight, by the way, and got a new paint gun. Actually, kit. It's pretty cool. I've always wanted a spray gun. Being an artist, I always thought I needed one, but I just never, rationalized it. I thought it would be way more expensive. But I already had the air compressor that I bought quite a while ago from Harbor Freight. And so I figured now it's the time, because I got to paint the outside of the bus and the inside and everything. So it just, this here comes with two guns, a detail gun and a big gun, and some cleaning tools, whatnot. So I'm going to go ahead and mix. I like the Rust-Oleum high performance paint. You only want to use acrylic as a thinner with that. I did not want gloss, anything. I've decided I'm going to kind of go with the old rat rod look for the bus and name her like a pinup name. I haven't buckled down on a name for her yet, but I feel like I'm getting closer than before. So I got a flat black and a gloss black. So I'm going to do a 2-tone black all over her and then highlight with a few other colors. So I don't want gloss, so I wanted a semi-gloss, but they did not carry. Went to a couple places in Enid, Oklahoma is where I'm at right now, and nobody carried the semi-gloss, so I figured I'd mix some flat with gloss and into a big gallon jug, so I have plenty, then thin it out and spray that as a primer on the floor. I used a True Boat rust converter, and I'm absolutely in love with it. After I get done with the primer, I've been doing the windows. Those are little, barriers that I made. I don't like taping. I think it's because I'm an artist and I'm stuck up. No, I'm kidding. Little barriers that I measured and made, and I beveled them on the underside, or rounded them so that they would seat in nicely, and they're working great. Let's see, I did a couple already. There we go. See right here the difference. And I'm in love with this paint gun. It lays so nice. Oh, and also I had experimented with that poor man's fiberglass on one of the windows, covering up one of the back windows quite a while ago. And since I had the spray gun out and flat black in it, I figured why not go ahead and paint it and see what happens. And, oh, dang that sun. I'm in love with it. Of course, I gotta sand it down and make it pretty. Here we go. Maybe this. Yeah. Sand it down, make it pretty, smooth out the edges and whatnot. But that Rust-Oleum really lays really nicely when it's thinned out and put in that gun. So I'm super stoked on that. Get that sanded down when I get back to doing body work. So for the floor after the primer, I've got somebody donated me this Rust-Oleum garage floor coating kit. It's got a clear color, and then it comes with these like little pieces of plastic you put in it, anti-slip or whatever. So I figured out how to tint it, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to use acrylic paint because it's water-based, the enamel is, and color the floor, try to do a marble thing. So that should be interesting for sure. I hope it works. If not, then whatever, we'll paint over it, I guess. But either way, it'll be sealed. So I got enough of that rust converter to do the front, or the top and the bottom of the bus. So after I'm done with the top of the floor, I'm going to go under the bus, get it cleaned up and prepped for the rust converter, then put rust converter on it, scrub that down because there's like a white powdery residue that's left afterwards, and then spray it down with semi-gloss, the same paint, and then I'm going to go ahead and use the seats that were in it. The foam is made out of a really good material that people use for insulation. It's flame resistant and not an allergen and all sorts of stuff. So to purchase that would cost me an arm and a leg. I happened to save almost all of that foam from the seats, and I am going to, there's like, see, people are like adding a subfloor on the top layer of the floor, but I'm almost 6 foot and I don't plan on raising the roof on this bus, and I feel like, no offense, that's a little over-engineering on a lot of their parts, but I could be wrong. Because I feel that way because when I go underneath here, oh, it's a wet mess. There's already a subfloor. See, we got a good 2 inches. We got a good 2-inch subfloor already. So why can't I just cut that foam and lay it in between these joists after I do the rust converter on all of them and primer it? See that those joists, we got 2 inches everywhere. The fuel tank, transmission. So I'm just not sure if these folks are maybe just more used to building houses or construction rather than vehicles, but my expertise comes with vehicles more than building. So of course I wanted to go underneath and see what was under here, and I feel like, for me, in my opinion, humbly, that is a subfloor. So rather than adding 2 inches to the floor and losing 2 inches of ceiling height, I'm going to put the foam, cut it, and put it up in there. And then I got a big canvas drop cloth that I am using while I'm painting, but when I'm done with it, I got linseed oil and beeswax I double boiled, and I'm going to coat that canvas when we're all done with it in the linseed oil and beeswax to weatherproof it. And then I am going to spray glue the canvas to the subfloor and the insulation to seal it, like a thermal barrier, water barrier, bullshit barrier, whatever. And then I'm going to add some eyelets, some metal eyelets to it where I can actually screw it in. So it'll be screwed in, and the spray glue will be like a secondary holder thing to hold it with. That way we're not relying on either one to hold the canvas. And the reason for that is that I've done a lot of work to trailers and RVs for myself and other people, and there's always a barrier that kind of looks like a tarp, if you will, underneath, let's see, underneath the trailers. So if we look under here, there's, oh, I've taken some of this off to do electrical work. Psych! Let's try back here. Yeah, see this right here? That's like a tarp-like substance, or barrier. And all the RVs have them. So that's kind of the idea there that I'm going to do with the canvas, but the material that's made out of it's uber expensive. And I happen to buy, or happen to have, bought at some point a painter's drop cloth, probably because I'm paint, and it's huge, and it just happens to be the perfect amount that I need for underneath the bus. So I also just happen to have beeswax and linseed oil, so rather than purchasing more supplies when I can utilize what I have, I'm going to do that. So, oh, also, little tidbit, for the beeswax, anytime I need beeswax for, I don't know, coating my tools, I mix beeswax and linseed oil, like my crescent wrench, my plumber's wrench, or my, yeah, I'm trying to think. I coat all sorts of things, but my mind went blank. Anyways, I coat it with that linseed and beeswax. I double boil them together, and then coat whatever I'm trying to weather rust proof with that. Beeswax is kind of expensive, but would you know that the rings on the base of a toilet, so when you go to replace your toilet, when you put the new one down, you will have to put a wax ring between the hole on the floor, and then you set the toilet on top of it. Well, don't use a used one. A brand new one may cost you anywhere from, what, $1 to $5 at most, I think. Well, that's a whole hell of a lot of really good beeswax that toilet's sitting on. So I happen to have 3 of those laying around. I was working on refurbishing a hotel for some people in Oregon, and I had a few of them left over from that project, and so I just used that beeswax and the linseed oil. So more experimenting and inventoneering in progress. I'll let you know how it goes.